Hello Aquarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right. We are going to dive on in. We're looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future with oracle cards first, and then we'll dive into the energy with tarot as we progress. But I first want to get overall energy with oracle cards. Just a reminder that I'm posting several general energy check-ins on my Instagram and TikTok accounts during the week that I don't post on YouTube. So if you're interested in seeing those readings, that account information is below. Goodness, okay, nothing will come out. Cut your losses. I feel like there's a lot going on in your recent past, to be honest with you. Like, the energy is very, it's very chaotic. And I think that you've been dealing with this chaos for a while. Just a lot of, like, upheaval and change and just feeling like nothing sticks around and stays. And I think that it's been incredibly challenging for you to kind of build up, because I think that you're just trying to get your feet on the ground. Almost like you can't, you're trying to keep your head above water is what this feels like. You've cut your losses with love. I feel like there is a lot of loss and a lot of lack in this energy. And I think that there's like a couple of things appearing here. And I do feel like Aquarius has really been going through it recently, especially this year. And I think that for a lot of people, this eclipse season is kind of everything kind of coming to a head, where it just feels like everything is, even more, there's like the struggle, it feels greater, and there's more pressure and, more unknown associated. And I think that, in this past energy, there's almost this complete disconnection from the things that you want, and like I said, a sense of stability. And I think that things are starting to shift for you, even if you don't fully feel it yet. So trust that it's coming. Okay, current energy for Aquarius's current energy. Current energy for your current energy. Overall energy for your current energy here, Aquarius. The law of attraction. A lot of times we wait for things to shift, and then you have synchronicity here. We wait for things to shift, but a lot of times we're the shift, that has to be made. And, when we focus on all of the lack in our life and all of the loss and all of the ways that things never work out, what we don't realize is that energy and that focus that we're putting toward all of the negativity, it actually starts to expand. And it's not saying that we should just ignore the things that are happening in our life. Definitely not. We have to acknowledge the things that aren't going well, but we can also shift our mindset a little bit to the belief that things are working out in a way that's better than we think. And I think that that's kind of what's happening here. This is for a collective that's really open to doing the work, the mindset work and the shadow work and things of that nature. I feel like you are going to start to see things shift, especially with this synchronicity card. It's interesting because synchronicity is all about seeing things kind of aligning in a way that is very unexpected. And what I'm seeing here also is, like, in the background of this card, I'm really drawn to this clock. So it feels like divine timing is very much at play here in your life. And I think that you're on the verge of things shifting. So if you feel like you've been doing the work and you're not getting anywhere, try to trust that it's paying off. It is a process, and I think that you'll see things progress. So let's see what you're needing to know, Aquarius, moving forward. It's all aligning in a way that you're unable to see yet. Change your tune, which is all about changing your perspective. It's shifting perspective. As your perspective shifts, your reality shifts here. changes. The past, it's like breaking free from the past. Then you have protection. You're very divinely protected here. So yeah, and that's what I was kind of saying. It's like as your inner world shift, your outer world shifts along with it. But there's this delay between the inner world and the outer world. It's not like you shift to an abundant mentality and all of sudden things change, right? It does take time for things to shift, but I feel like it's happening in ways that you're not able to see yet. And I think that will become more clear as you move forward. It feels like, it does. It feels like you're very much on the verge of a shift here. So trying to tap into that abundant mentality as much as possible, I think is really important for you at this time. An abundant mentality isn't everything is working out for me and I feel great all the time, right? That's just toxic positivity. An abundant mentality is I might not have what I want yet. I might not be where I want to be yet, but I know I'm divinely guided and supported. I'm open to creative solutions. I'm here to take the steps in alignment. Just that presence with the possibility is what can take you so far. All right, overall theme here for you, Aquarius. When I'm in a state of appreciation, I'm in vibrational alignment with my true love nature. This is Gabby Bernstein's Super Attractor deck. So I feel like this is really kind of just an overall kind of affirmation for you to bring through. But ultimately, what I feel like this is really talking about is, when we're focused, and this goes back to what I was saying, so I'm going to reiterate a little bit, but then I'll add on to it. When we're really focused on all of the things that we lack and how far we have to go and how we're not where we want to be yet, our mindset is really wired. Our mind is really wired to see things through the lens of nothing's working out. I'm not where I want to be. It's not happening for me. And what we don't realize is when you really break down the law of attraction, you have your thoughts become your beliefs, become your actions, become your reality. So the more that we tell ourselves things aren't working out for me, it's never going to get better, I'm always going to stay stuck in lack, the more that our actions are actually going to reflect those beliefs without us even realizing it. Because most of what happens below the surface. 95% of our movements, choices, and decisions, according to psychology, are actually subconscious subconscious movements and decisions. So when we are aware of that, since we don't have, direct control over what's happening to us, we have direct control over our perspective around it and how we choose to perceive it. And we can perceive it in a way that says nothing's working out for me and it's not happening for me, or we can perceive it in a way that says, I don't know how yet, but I'm trusting that things are working out for my highest good. And that within itself, that small perspective shift, is going to open you up to new experiences that you might not see when you're stuck in that kind of lack mentality. But I'm certainly not blaming you for what you're going through. I feel like what you're in and the energy that you're in is very frustrating and things feel very out of your control. So, one of the best things we can do when things feel out of our control is focus on what's in our power and our control. But let's see. What have you been dealing with, Aquarius? It's almost like feeling like, oh, I have what I desire. Oh, it's taken away. Oh, things are working out. Oh, no, it's not. It's like just this back and forth that I feel like you've been in for a while, which has made it really hard because I think that you're like anything good that comes ends up in loss and heartbreak. And that makes a lot of sense. And over time with the Six of Wands in reverse, I feel like it started to really make you feel a little bit hopeless about what's possible for you. And I think that what's really hard is you have all of this potential, but it just feels like no matter how hard you try, that potential isn't fully realized. And with the Six of Wands in reverse, I think that you're kind of stuck in this feeling of like, I'm never going to get there. Like, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to have what I want. I'm never going to be where I want to be. And this Two of Cups is this reminder to understand that there are two parts to all of us. We have the part of us that believes that anything is possible, and we have the part of us that believes that nothing is possible. And our life is a pretty direct reflection of which of those two parts we feed into the most. And if we're feeding into constantly again, nothing is working out, everything always ends in loss. It might be a reflection of what's been true for us to this point, but we don't want our past to dictate our future, right? We want to be able to step into a reality that aligns with what we desire and what we deserve, not with what we've experienced. So a lot of what that work is understanding that your life is not limited to what you've experienced to this point. There is a lot more that's possible for you, but it's up to you to believe that so you can create it. What is Aquarius needing to know about their current energy? Because I still just feel this is just like one step forward, two steps back. And that's the thing, is like, that's a lot of what life is about. We're not forward moving all of the time, but we are making progress each and every time that we do move forward. And I think that if you could spend, some time really trying to direct your focus to how far you've come and, how things have worked out in small ways, you might be able to watch things shift in bigger ways too. Current energy for Aquarius. I've really learned that mindset truly is everything. Everything. Yeah, there's a lack of trust right now. You're in this energy of feeling like the universe doesn't have your back. Nothing's working out. Nothing's progressing. And that's the biggest thing keeping you stuck, yeah. And I felt it, like, when I'm talking about these things, I feel like I am maybe making a few people a little bit angry with me, because I know from personal experience, when you're stuck and you're frustrated and no matter how hard you try, nothing's working out, I know how hard it is to hear, there is more possibility, because you're like, I have tried everything and then some, and it just feels like nothing is getting better. Like, I know from experience what it's like to be in those places. But I've really learned that there are two types of mentalities that we can approach our life with. It's a victim mentality or a creator mentality. And a victim mentality says, this is not working out for me. Nothing ever happens for me. I have no control, and I'm going to be like this forever. My life is going to stay this way forever. And that victim mentality is very valid, right? It's a product of, I feel so beat down by life because of things that I've been through that I don't know where to go from here. It's valid and it's understandable. But that leaves us completely powerless, right? So a creator mentality allows us to see things in a different perspective. It doesn't ignore the reality of the situation, but it opens up the possibility. So it looks like things aren't working out for me. I'm not where I want to be, and I don't have control over this situation, but I know there's a way through, and I know there's a solution, and I know I can get to where I'm trying to go. I just have to find it. I have to keep showing up, believing that it exists. And yes, it's hard whenever things haven't worked out for a really long time, but that is the only thing you have power over. That is the only thing you have control over. And if we direct all of our focus to things we don't have power and control over, we are going to consistently feel powerless. We're going to consistently feel like nothing we do matters, like no matter how hard we try, we're not good enough, and that our reality is going to continue to reflect that back at us. We're going to be proving ourselves right by saying, I'm not good enough, it's not possible. You are very much on the shift and on the verge of a shift, and it is always darkest before dawn. You can kind of see it in these cards. Like, this card gets darker, and then look at this card. It starts being brighter again, right? It really is always darkest before dawn. Things seem more impossible right before a shift, right before a possibility, right before things open up. And the thing is, most people give up on the journey right before it happens for them, right before things shift. So if things feel really out of your control right now, try your hardest to step into what you do have power over. And one of the biggest things is gratitude. This talks about appreciation. Gratitude within itself is the antidote to all of our problems, because it allows us to focus more on what's going right instead of what's going wrong. And it's not that it's going to fix all your problems overnight, but it's going to train yourself. It's going to train your mind. It's going to train your vibration to step into this energy of, things are working out for me. Maybe it's in small ways right now, but that doesn't mean that they can't work out for me in big ways too. So I think that, there's a struggle right now, but I also feel like Spirit is really asking you to hang on, to trust in the shift, to focus on what you can control, because I do feel like changes are ahead. But you have changes, and you also have change your tune, which means the inner world has to change before the outer world changes. What does Aquarius need to know moving forward? Ooh. Queen of Cups in reverse. It's a very emotionally charged energy, and I feel like this is what you've been struggling with the most. Just a lot of frustration and just upset energy, just being upset, and your emotions and your feelings are valid, okay? I can't say that enough, and I don't want to sit here and say, oh, you shouldn't feel this way and you should feel that way, because again, that is invalidating and it doesn't help anybody. But there is always a but, right? What you're trying to create, the life that you're desiring, it doesn't just happen for you. It doesn't just fall in your lap. It doesn't just appear on your doorstep. If it did, a lot more people would be living the life that they desire, but it doesn't. And we have to understand that we have way more power than we think we do in creating the life that we desire. But it's not over forcing and controlling and making things happen, and it's not over what's out of our control and out of our power. It's over redirecting to what is in our control and our power. The inner foundation of believing that there is a spiritual connection of our own understanding that is supporting us, that we can align with love and faith at any second of the day. When we are stepping into, there is more in my power and in my control than I think, it doesn't mean that your fear diminishes completely. It doesn't mean that there isn't still self-doubt and insecurity and fear of the unknown. What it does mean is that is no longer controlling you. Right now, a lot of your actions are being very dictated by your emotional experience, meaning that if you're feeling afraid, you're saying, I have something to fear. Meaning if things aren't working out, you feel things aren't working out, you're going, oh, that's the truth. Things aren't working out. And this is very common, okay? It's very common for people to be to identify very heavily with everything they think and feel. But that is not where your power lies. Your power lies in your ability to create awareness around what's happening, how you're feeling about it, and then how you choose to respond. If something happens and you're reacting immediately, the first way you're going to be reacting is through the lens of your fear, your doubt, your insecurity, and the belief that things aren't working out for you. And that is the reality you're going to create. So I'm not blaming you, okay? Because it's not your fault that things are working out this way, but you do have more power than you think. And that comes with the distance, being able to distance yourself from, I feel this way, and then I'm going to respond this way. I'm going to respond with the perspective, I feel like nothing's working out. I feel like the universe doesn't have my back, but I'm going to show up believing that the universe does. I'm going to take action. I'm going to make decisions believing that things can work out for me in a way that's better than I think. And when we make decisions from that place, we open up possibility, because our reflection of our outer world is directly showing us what we believe is possible for us. And if we want to create more in our life, we have to step into a further belief that more is possible for us. And yeah, it is hard and it's difficult and it is fighting every single feeling that you in truth that you have internalized based on what you've experienced, thinking that things can't work out and there's nobody out there who's going to love you and value you, and money is difficult to come by. There's so many ways in which this can show up in our life, but you have the power to change the way that your reality is reflected to you by changing what's going on in your inner world. And that's a lot of what healing and spirituality is all about. It's not about making things happen out there. It's about shifting what's going on in here, because that naturally is going to change the outer experience. So I feel like you are on the verge of a breakthrough. You're on the verge of a shift to move you into more abundance, and ultimately with the Four of Pentacles, more stability, because I think that's one of the biggest things that you're struggling with right now is a lack of kind of stability and foundation. So you're on the verge of a shift. The problem isn't what's going on out there, it's what's going on in here. So try to direct your focus to this, and I think that you'll see that things will change for you. All right, I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to dive deeper into this, ultimately looking at what can you do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. So looking more at the tangible advice, and I've got an advice card to pull for you at the very end. Before I end this video, I want to announce that I had my Manifesting Financial Freedom Workshop last Friday. It was wonderful. I had a great time doing it, but I did receive a lot of emails and messages after the fact from people who were interested in it, but it had already passed and I had already sent out the recording. So for a limited time, I have made this workshop available for purchase. It'll be just the replay, all of the materials, along with the 28-day challenge and the private Facebook group that comes with it. All of that is available right now on my website. It won't be available for too long. I don't really know how long yet, just until intuitively I feel like it's time. But if you're interested in that, that is at the top of the description box below. Otherwise, thank you so much, Aquarius, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today, and I'm wishing you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aquarius.